This our next section. I would like to create a metric with the customer's ID with the product code. So we have to generate what does the customer buy, how many items. So we have to build the customer item metric in this section. So we use the pivot table. In Chinese, 枢纽分析. So we have talked about the pivot table in our last class. The pivot table is very helpful. It's very powerful tool for us to analyze. Okay, so for the pivot table, there are four elements, four attributes. One attribute is index. You have to define what is the column for index. For this example, we use the column customer ID. So how many customers buy product? So index, we use customer ID for our first parameters. For the second parameter, we call columns. So columns, we use stock code, 产品的编号 for the stock code. So how many products for this online retail? So later we will find out. Also, we have to calculate the value for the customer ID and customer stock code. So to make the summation for the quantity 数量 for each customer ID and stock code. Okay, so let us to run this to run the pivot table with this one. Okay, df. So we use the function pivot table. So we define these four attributes. The first attribute we call index. We use the customer ID. Columns, we use the stock code. For the value, quantity, and we use the function to summation. And we save to keep the metric as customer item metric. Okay, it's time for us to run this source code. So we get this metric, customer item metric. Because this metric is so big, right? For almost more than 4,000 multiplied by 3,000. So it's a big matrix. But anyway, we have to take a look at. So yes. Okay, so from this table, you may see the column customer ID as our index, right? So all the customer ID in our index column, this one. And for the column's name is the stock code, 产品的编号 stock code for this one, 10002, this stock code. Another stock code, 产品编号 all the way to the end. So you may see there are a lot of missing value for this metric. Why? Because there are too many stock codes, right? But a customer cannot buy so many product. 因为产品很多，所以说不是每个产品都买，所以说它就是会产生一个所谓的稀疏矩阵。So with a lot of missing value. So here is for this customer's ID is 12360. This one, okay. This customer buy this product 20674. This product for 8 units. By this quantity is 8. By this quantity is 24 quantity. Okay, 数量。 16, but didn't buy this product and also didn't buy this product also. Okay, so you realize the pivot table we just created. And let us show the metric we just created as a very big metric with 4,339 rows with 3,665 columns. So it's a big metric. So you may see here. So how many elements in this metric? Okay, you may see 个十百千万十万百万千万 okay 1000万笔的资料 too many, right? So it is a very big metric 很大的一个矩阵系 okay, so later we have to find out so how many unique customers in this transaction. 在这一次的交易里面，我们有多少个客户 unique 唯一的客户，就是我们这一次的客户有多少个 So we have to calculate how many unique customers in these transactions. We use a unique function, this one, unique. And we identify with the column ID, customer ID, to check how many unique label for this column. So you have this array, this one. It just keep one unique record once, 只存在一个. And also with this array, you can to calculate the length. So how many elements in this array? So we use length, L-E-N, it means length, 长度, the length of this one, for the unique, this one. Okay, for the result is 4,369. Okay, 39. 4,339笔. So it means the customers for the ID, customer ID, the unique customer ID is 4,339. 4,339个客户 okay, customers. So you can do the same process as to check how many country for your customers. So you may see use the country. Let me see. DF, this one. DF columns. DF columns country. So you can to calculate how many country for all the customers unique. So you may see they are the country, okay, unique country name. And also you can to calculate the length for all the unique country. So you know how many country does the customer from. 37, 所以说他们来自37个国家。Okay, so we know there are more than 4,000 customers in these transactions. And also we like to check how many unique stock code, product code, 有多少个产品 in these transactions. So we just replace with the customer ID with stock code to check how many unique stock code for this transaction. Okay, so we have this array for the unique for the customer's code, and we calculate the length for the elements. So here you can see here is 3,665 3665个产品. So that's why we get the dimension for the pivot table is this one, right? 客户乘上我们的物品. So customers, unique customers, and unique product code, stock code. So we get this metric. This one is our customers. How many customers do we have, and how many products we have, right? So we have this customer ID, customers ID with the stock code. Okay, so let us to check each customer's information with this one, LOC location. So here is we check from list code, from list customers all the way to the end. If you didn't keep in any numbers, so we use the rest of the data. Okay, so you can see the result for more than this one, and only to show the first 5 rows. What is the dimension for the customer item metric? So you know the meaning for this metric. Let us show it again. So here is the customer ID. So with 4,339 4339个客户 with the column name for stock code 产品的编号. So for 3,665 3665个产品. Okay, so we do it again. So we can use ununique instead the length 长度. So we can use this function n number of unique. It's a simple way to calculate the unique value for each row. So how many unique value for stock code is for our product code? So you get the same result as the previous one. What about customers? Ununique. It's the same, right? So this function is the same as these 2 instructions. Okay. Okay, so later then let us to check the product for each customer's buy. So we just specify the customer's ID. We can to check the product for each customer byte. If we want to see the customer ID 12481, this one, this customer, what does the product he buy? So you may see this here with none, so it didn't buy this one. Okay. So you can use this to save the result as C12481 as is. Okay, so you can hear this one here. So here is a series, a vector for the customers. So he buy this product for 36, 买了36件. What about this one? This one, 20719. This product stock code by 40. Okay, so you can do all the things. Okay, we can check different customers. Also, you can to summarize for these customers. So this here shows these customers buy the product for 3,304，买了3304个的 product. Okay, so you have to know how to calculate. So how many product does each customer buy? Since we have used this metric, is a spot metric, 稀疏矩阵, but we have to do a transformation to change the status non-missing value as 0 and the number with 1. Okay, so we use apply function as we have did it before. So we have to check the metric first, and then we have to encode the metric data with 0 and 1. We specify with does the customer buy this product or not. We don't care the quantity, 他们买了几样. We only care does this customer buy this product or not. Yes or no. So we translate with buy as 1. If it didn't buy this product, the status will be 0. Okay, so we deal with this metric, right? We just created by our pivot table. And then we use this function, apply map function. Here is a lambda, right? So if the x is, the quantity is bigger than 0, it means it's not missing value. So I define as 1 statement. Otherwise, with 0 statements. Okay, so let us run these instructions. It may take some time, right? 它已经有1000多万笔的资料. You have to calculate so many items. Okay? Okay, so let us to check the result for the customer item metric 01, this one. So you can see we translate with 0 and 1 instead missing value and the quantity. So we change with 0 and 1. Let me show you the first one, the first four of the for the customers. Okay, so since we have translated the statements, does the customer buy this product or not? So we can use this function. So what does this function mean? And what does this function mean? We use this function we just created, right? The metric 01, this one. And with original metric, what does this two number means? 100, 140, 150. What about 3,304? What does these two instructions? So your first homework for today is to what does these two instructions mean? Especially for this example. 150, 150代表什么意思？3304 3,304. What does this mean with these two instructions? So please explain, okay, the meaning for these two instructions. And also, so that's all for today's course. Today's course, you have the homework to exercise all the source code I provide from the line 1 all the way to line this one to here 405行 405. Okay, so exercise your source code in Colab and then turn in your Colab address for our homework. Okay, so today we have to deal with the online data set for a UK retail companies. So for the next week, we have to deal with the data we just created, these two metrics. What? Original pivot data for customer item. And then we to translate, does it buy this product or not? So we have another metric with customer item metric 01. So for the next week, we have to talk about a very useful methodology for our marketing. So we call 协同过滤法, collaborative filtering. So you can filter the same customer behaviors for your customers. Okay, that's for our next week's content. Okay, so that's all for this week's course. I hope you can exercise all the source code in your Colab. Okay, see you guys next week.